you have so many Indians, 20%, as you said, are coming in as Christians, and they're helping strengthen the church and as you said, contribute to the greater Mississippi stream. I love that imagery of the flowing in and strengthening the stream, and hoping acting as a corrective for those things that have gone much more Americanized than the true gospel. I think this is where God bringing the nations helps, I think, help us remove our blind spots when we can see and fully see God, more of a new begin approach in that regard. Looking at that, though, there are still so many, as you said, Sikhs, Hindus, Muslims. I find, though, that many within the, let's say, the white evangelical church are not embracing or don't know how to reach. I shouldn't say it that way. They don't know how to reach out to Indians. And again, this is a diverse group of people in so many different ways, different states, different religious backgrounds, different educational levels, all the different caveats. And then depending on the level of globalization and how long they've been here and Americanization that's happened. I mean, you've even written a book on that called The Coconut Generation. The younger people that are growing up here in America that are dark on the outside, but are quote unquote white on the inside. That's a whole different approach. How do we help the church see and embrace the group that needs to be reached? Number one. Number two, how do we appeal or even reach into that Hindu group? And three, how do we minister differently between the older generation that has either the first generation that's been here, because there are still a lot of first generation or even second generation, and different between that and the third generation? So I got 5 questions right there for you. If you got to, I know
that's the 1 hour of talk in there itself. If you had to unpack that. I know you're trying to, cover so much of ground here. There's so much of literature and so much of research have gone into each of those questions. I'll try to attempt maybe briefly each of them.
You got 3 hours. That's 3 more hours for each question.
All right.
Take a stab at it.
No, I would say that the 2020 World Christianity Encyclopedia study says about personal contact with non-Christians is all-time low. And Christians to contact, be in touch. Personal contact simply means to be in touch with people outside the 4 walls of the church with whom you do church.
Okay, hold on. Pause there. You said all-time low Christians talking to non-Christians, or personal contact with non-Christians. All-time low?
Yes. The data says, I can tell you the 2020 data across America, we are talking about Hindus, 13% or so have contact with a Christian.
13% of Hindus in America have a contact with a Christian.
In America, right? It is 20%.
20%.
20% of Hindus have a personal contact with a Christian in America. They never stepped into the house of a Christian. They never invited a Christian into their home. They never know. They do professional exchange at a workplace, at a local store, but they really got to sit together, have a coffee, meet with them, talk to them, get to know them. One is the otherness. We don't know. Indians tend to be a little more philosophical and religious in their orientation. They are definitely a lot more conservative, than Western conservatives in issues of, gender, sexuality, relational issues, and understanding of life and, values of life. And so I think, the idea that, what does it mean? We become so siloed. The great strength of America is people coming from everywhere, but we all live in our little silos. It is important for Christians to know and have the courage. You don't have to have an answer for everything, but just befriend them. Befriend people who are unlike you. Greet them, get to know where you are from, and what brought you to America, when you came to America. They want to talk. But sometimes we feel we pull into our cave and into our shell, and we don't have enough courage. I mean, they'll ask questions I don't know how to answer from the Bible. You don't have to be an expert in the Bible. Just personal relational skills is an important cultural skills. And I think as pastors and leaders, we also have a responsibility to help our people to see people. Because we have these, it's not like a blind spot, but somehow it doesn't appear on our radar. There are a lot of people are oblivious. They're walking around us, but I don't see them. We need to develop a sense of knack of watching people and engaging in conversation and inquiring where they came from and listening to their stories. We can go through the busyness of life and life in the motion of, religious motion. I do my church, with 100 people or 5,000 people, whatever the size of your church is, tick mark on my Christianity and go on with life as I want to live.
So you're saying building relationships is key, that personal connection.
Absolutely. And which is learning about the world.
Learning about the world. So listening.
Growing in other parts of the world.
Yes.
Christianity is growing from other parts of the world. And many people who have come to America, majority of the people who have come to America are Christians. That is something that they don't realize. Just because they don't look like my same skin color or, don't show up at my church every other Sunday, does not mean they are not Christians. Because, there are 700 million Christians in Africa, 600 million Christians in Latin America. There are some 450 million Christians in Asia. So where they say in the history of Christianity, where Christianity grows, it pushes its people out. They become mobile and they go to places to the ends of the earth. And now many who are coming to America they are Christians. They may go to a church across the street, but I don't want to talk to them because they are not doing church the way I do church. They are not coming under my leadership as a local pastor of this church and paying their tithes to this church so I can minister to them. That's a fallacy of modern dichotomized, siloed Christianity.